Hey, what is going on, guys, and welcome back to the series where we are learning JavaScript by creating a fun game. Now, last up we left off by, well, generating armor, I believe. So let's just see, we have our attack, -4, and 5. Yeah, oh yeah, and we also managed to, let me refresh this a bit. So let's go back into the game. So as soon as we attack, we will lose health and we will also lose armor depending on that equation here. So let's attack. We got 6 and 1, so that's 5. So out of 100, we are left with 95 life and 19 armor. Okay, now in this video we're going to create our defense mechanism. So when we click on this defense, something should happen. Also, guys, all of the episodes, this will be episode 6, and the entire series is down in the description below. Also the source code is down in the description below, and yeah, everything that you need is down in the description below. So let's get started with this video. So let's see, this is player 1. We are here, and let's go down, and after we attack, now let's type in here comment defend. Okay, and we will need this defend in both in player 1 and player 2. So we need to, well, first of all, create a variable for this, another const, which we'll create up here. We had our player attack, wait a second. Okay, there it is. So we had our player 1 body. We have our display damage, display armor. We'll later on create our display health and mana, but we still need to create our defense. So let's see, we have also our player 1 body, player 1 stats, player 1 actions, and this is where we need to create our const for defending. So let's go in here and let's say const and let's name this defend player 1, because we will also have one for the player 2. Now let's go to the document and select, using query selector, from our container. So exactly as we did up here, from the container player 1 with the ID of container player 1, we will select, let me just copy this, go in here, select the player 1, and within this we'll select the ID of defend. Okay, so let's first of all console log this and be sure that we selected what we really needed. Okay, let's console log, hit save, and there we go. Player 1 UL of defend. Wait just a second. Oh, there's a defend button. Okay, so we have this. I'm just going to delete this console log, we don't actually need it. But I'm going to copy this player actions to player 2 also. And let's go down. Utility functions, not utility. And there we have player actions. This will be the defend. And we just need to replace this 1 with a 2. So here and here. Okay, now we have it. So player container player 2. And from that we are selecting the defend button, which is this one from player 2. So let's create up here. Actually, we first need, we need to go to player 1, and let's say defend player 1 dot add event listener, and we're also going to listen for a click. And when this click happens, we're going to use now a arrow function, and we got to do something. Now, I said that each time we attack, we want a certain amount to be generated as internally as a armor. But in this case, in the defense case, I know what I want to generate. Not a certain amount, not a random amount, but an exact amount. So we'll select our player 1. When we hit defend with player 1, we will defend with player 1. So we'll then select from the player one object the dot defense, and we will add to the player one defense, not player one body, but player one dot defense, and we will add a +1. Okay, so that's all we need first of all here. Now let's try this out. So let's go into player one, and we will not see anything, so I'm going to grab onto this in a console log. So let's select player one defense, and let's console log it, and this console log will only happen when I'm going to click on the defense. So I'm defending, so I'm generating 21 armor. You can see it right here, but we will take care of this, so don't worry about that. Now we did create up here, wait a second, am I right? Yeah. Now in any case, we created up here our display armor. Okay, so we're going to grab onto this. We're going to go down here in our defense, and next up, so I'm going to just comment out the console log, and down here I'm going to type in a comment. We also need to display this somewhere, so display, so you capital display generated armor. Now where do we want to display it? Well, we'll use a display.HTML, and we're going to just assign it using backticks a +1, and that's all that's going to be displayed. Now for the color, we're going to choose, so I'm going to just copy this, not that, but a display armor. So display armor from player one dot style dot color, and I'm going to choose our variable color that we created up there, so using backticks again, and we're going to use the variable of armor. Now next up, we're going to hide this, so we're going to go down, we're going to use our display. So this is a bit like the attack move. So I'm going to go up here, and we need a few things. After we actually we need all of this. So I'm going to copy this from our attack and paste it into our defense, because we will need, well, I don't need this, I don't need this, and I don't need this. But I do need to reset our display intakes. But we're not generating any damage, so, and we're also displaying from the player one. So display armor player one. We need to reset this, because if you take a look at our display function, let me just go down here, reset display, we're displaying damage, we're displaying armor. So for, let me go up here. So for displaying damage, we're going to go with null. We don't want this to generate anything. But after it is reset, it has been resetted, we're going to use what we created also up there, and we're going to display it then as block. So style dot display, and we're going to assign it to a block element. Now let me see, so we're displaying it, we're hiding the attack. Now we need to modify player stats, also need to display it here. Until now, let's see what is working. So we're clicking on defense, hey, we're displaying it here. Okay, that is good. We're not displaying any health, we're just displaying the armor +1. We then need to modify player stats, so we're going to modify player 1 stats, and here to the player 1. So let's try this again. Okay, this is working. Now we actually need to go into modify player stats. So let me double click on it and go down here. Okay, we have our armor. So this is correct. Now let's go back into our defense function. Player 1 ends here. There's a defense function functionality. So we're adding one. Display armor, player 1 style. This is working. Reset. So this is resetting it after a few seconds. If we click again, then we're displaying it as block. We then modify player stats. This is not working. Why isn't this working? Let me just verify this very quickly. Let me first of all take care of the functionality of disabling the buttons. So let's go down into disable and enable buttons. I'm just going to select this, go down into our functionality. And within here, now we need to also create a defend player. Okay, and this will take in whatever player we pass in here. We're also going to pass it then into the array. This is why we created this array. So we can loop through it using the for each loop and then set the disable and enable then again. Okay, so the same thing that we did here, we also need to do down here. So this is once and then enable it. So let's go up into our defend now. Defend if not there. Defend, there we go. And now we need to pass in here our defend player 1. So disable its buttons and enable. So I'm just going to copy this, paste this in here and enable player 2's buttons. So let's try this out. If I click on defend, defend is generated, a button is disabled, player 2 is now enabled. Well, we don't have the functionality yet because we need to copy this then into player 2, but we can see this is working. So, but we can attack, hey, and this is not enabling because we're missing this functionality. So I'm just going to hit refresh here and go back in here. Okay, but we're still not generating any armor. Okay, so let's go down to modify player stats again. Here. This should generate our defense. Why isn't it generating defense? Right here, let's click on it. Oh, 21. There we go. It's working. It's working. That's okay. Okay, so we have this. Now let me copy this into player 2's defense. Defend action utility functions. Let's go up. Generate defense. Yep. I'm going to just take everything that we created, hit a copy, go down into player 2, and player 2. This is his attack. And now underneath the attack, we're going to create, we're going to copy in the defend. Now we're just going to replace everything that is displayed here with 1. We're going to replace it with a 2. Not everything. So we're going to replace, first of all, this 3, replace them with 2. Then I'm going to replace display armor. This is going to be player 2, player 2, player 2, and this should be player 2 then, in order to modify its stats. this is player 2, up here we have player 2, and he would just need to reverse it. So this is player 2, this is player 2, and this will be player 1. So enabling and disabling the buttons. Okay, let's try this out. Let's go to start game. We're going to attack player 2. Hey, we have an error. Cannot read property of a set attribute of undefined at 260. So that it would disable. Wait just a sec. So in player 2 we're... Wait, what? Why? This is working, this is working, this is enabling, this is disabling. This is not generating anything. Let's try this again. Defend, defend, okay. Attack, For each disabled button, 188. Oh yeah, because we also need now here to include our... Yeah, we need to include it here also. So I'm just going to copy. So when we're disabling, so when an action is made either with attack or defense or heal, then later on, we need to... Wait a second. I am here in player 2. So I'm going to copy this and replace within our attack function, not the attack function, but the event listener. I'm going to replace the disable buttons, and also I'm going to take from the defense of player 1, go into player 1's attack, replace it, hit save, and now let's try it out. So when we're attacking, okay, we have no more errors, and now we're defending, and hey, this is working. Okay guys, yeah, that's actually what I wanted to achieve in this video, so I think I'm going to stop the video right here. And then later on, we're going to continue on with healing ourselves and generating some mana. So, see you in the next one. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.